You have been warning some of your citizens about this, not just robocalls, but texts telling voters that lines are long, that machines are malfunctioning, that they should just vote tomorrow. What do you know about the source of this?
Well, we're investigating right now, and we take all illegal robocalls very seriously. I will say in normal times, in other days, robocalls are always a problem, not just in Michigan, but nationally, and we investigate them. But normally they're trying to con people out of their money. Today they're trying to con people out of their vote. So we're doing everything we can to combat the spread of misinformation and disinformation with accurate information. So, of course, we've been putting press releases out all day long and being very active on official social media accounts to get the word out that this information is not true. And so whether it's making sure people know that, if they have outstanding warrants, they're not going to be arrested at the polls, that there are not these long lines, certainly that you can't vote tomorrow. And certainly there's no reason to fear for your safety or your health or anything of that nature at the polls in Michigan. But we are having otherwise a spectacular day, very, very few incidents of any kind. And things are going really well, and I'm hopeful they will continue for the next couple of hours.
Right. As we understand it, lines moving along pretty quickly. These robocalls have also been a problem in Iowa, in New York. It sounds like you don't know yet or have a sense of who's behind them. Is that correct?
We are making progress on the investigation. That's all I can say at this point. But I will say that, we have election-related robocalls that we are prosecuting right now and that we charged weeks ago. And in the event that we're able to identify who the perpetrators are of these calls, we'll do it again. We intend to remain vigilant and to be incredibly aggressive in terms of individuals who violate our election laws and who try to illegally suppress the vote. We're not going to tolerate it in Michigan, and I know most state AGs around the country feel the same way.
Do you have a sense of how widely the calls went? Did they happen just in Flint? Do you know how effective they were in discouraging voters?
I think at this point, it's hard to tell. I think that we did a really good job of getting the word out that this was misinformation and letting people know that it's not true and where they can go to trust accurate information. So at this point, we had a number of complaints filed, so I know that, we're not talking about just a couple calls, but in terms of exactly how many, we don't know at this point. Again, we are doing further investigation, and a lot of these were national, and we do believe there are some, and remember, there are many types of these calls that came in. Some have originated from a foreign actor, but it's a little early to tell exactly where all of them have come from.
So let's talk about some of the successes. Michigan adding more than 12,500 voters to your rolls today on Election Day as the result of a state law that allows people to register on Election Day. Talk to us about how voting is going in general. We know that Senator Kamala Harris was in Detroit today as well, making one of her final campaign stops. How are things going otherwise in the state?
I think they're going great. We have first time in a general election, we have no reason absentee voting, which was passed by the voters via a ballot initiative in 2018. And thank God that occurred because, of course, in 2018, none of us could have foreseen that we'd have COVID-19. So most of our voters have chosen to vote absentee. And we know, over 3.1 million Michiganders who voted that way. The expectation is that at least another couple million will vote today. We don't have the final numbers in yet today, but it sounds like it's going to rival 2008, which was a very, very big turnout year for us. So a lot of engagement, a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm. And we're just very excited with the number of people who have participated. Obviously, our democracy is strongest when the most people participate. So we're really thrilled about it. And I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what our numbers look like at when the polls close. At 8, mostly, we have a few counties up north that are in the Upper Peninsula that actually close at 9 o'clock. So nothing officially can happen on our end until 9.
Well, and we know that Michigan has a history of leaning one way and then leaning the other. We just had a guest talking about, who worked at the CIA. She's concerned about post-election violence, whether it's Trump winning, Biden winning, or no decision for several days. How concerned are you about post-election violence, about civil unrest in the streets, and what are you doing to prepare for that?
So, that's interesting because we were spending most of our time actually preparing for threats or intimidation or harassment of voters on Election Day. And here we are, again, I don't want to jinx it because we have over a couple hours to go, but we've seen almost none of that. And to me, at the end of the day, if we were over prepared for that, I guess I can live with that. But we've had almost no concerns of any kind about any source of violence at the polls. So that gives me great hope that whatever's to come, that we see something similar to that. And I think that, there's been a lot of, tension and anxiety surrounding this election. But if today is any indication, then I don't have any worries at all for the days to come. But I think what has been great is that those of you in the media have spent a lot of time sort of putting the information out there that this year is different. And again, in Michigan, we can't start counting the votes until 7 a.m. today. So all those millions and millions of absentee ballots, couldn't even start counting them until this morning. So we know that we will just absolutely not know who the winner is of the presidential election tonight. It's literally impossible. And, it's not going to take weeks, but could it take a couple days? Yeah, it could take a couple days. And people just have to be patient and wait and understand that every, legitimately cast vote counts. And we got to get through all of them. So I'm hoping that the next few days sort of mirror what we've seen today. Just a lot of excitement and enthusiasm, no civil unrest of any kind that we've seen today.